Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it is going to be on Moana 2. This takes place 3 years after the events of the first movie. Moana has a little sister now, and she is going on another great adventure across the sea as she gets a call from her ancestors and she reunites with Maui, but also develops a new crew, and of course going throughout the ocean to get to this call that she has heard from her ancestors. And yeah, because the first movie was such a big hit with both critics and audiences, I myself also loved the movie. I rewatched it on Disney Plus. I'm just kidding. I have it on 4K because it will always be better than streaming. I don't care what you guys say. I'm always going to support it. And if I already own it, I have no reason to stream it. There are Disney movies I don't own, like Tarzan or Hercules, that I would watch on Disney Plus because I don't own those. But if I did own them, then I wouldn't have a reason to use it. But that's not the point. The point is, I love the first Moana. I actually haven't seen it since I first saw it in the theater, but of course I knew I would have to watch the movie again, which I did, and it still holds up. Characters are great, storyline great, animation absolutely stellar, and the songs super catchy. My favorite is Shiny. Like, seriously, after rewatching the movie again, I had that song stuck in my head for 2 days.
I take my plate and make it look shiny, like a diamond in the rough. Not so tough, not shiny. Wait a minute, I have a dishwasher. Why am I washing dishes? What the fuck?
But since Disney hasn't been doing well critically or commercially, they just had to do more with what they're doing, because Wish was supposed to be a big celebration for their 100th anniversary, but just turned out to be a ginormous pile of mediocrity. Like, seriously, what happened there? Like, they're gonna have to make up something for that. Does Moana 2 make up for that? Well, I can say it's better than Wish, but it's one of those types of movies that falls into the sequel curse. And what I mean by that is, it's one of those sequel movies that didn't really need to happen, but because Disney has just been struggling so hard, it's a miracle of how good Inside Out 2 was that it became the highest grossing animated film of all time. But I just want to say right off the bat, this is not a bad movie by any means necessary. I do think there will be some family members that will at least have fun with the movie and not really caring a lot about the storyline, because it mostly does feel relatively the same. Just Moana, despite the fact that she's not just with Maui, but with other new characters, and some, they're fine. There's this one guy I thought was kind of funny who's kind of obsessed with Maui's history and makes fan art of him. Yeah, I thought that was kind of a funny way of doing it. And there's even this part where they make a joke about fan fiction, which I feel like is kind of relevant to, storylines, to, popular things that people like to make. And there are some times where the movie can be humorous and sometimes it can work, but there are often times where some of the humor kind of relies on callbacks to the original film. Like, I'm not going to get into any big spoilers or anything like that because you're just going to have to watch the movie for yourself. That is, if you want to, but there are times where I feel like some of the humor relies on the creatures, kind of. Like, there's this scene with a blobfish, and there are times where there's a lot of, goopy stuff, and they just throw it in your face because that's humorous, but I don't know. I did not need to see that whatsoever. But of course, there's going to be songs in the movie because, of course, there were songs in the first one. They're alright. They're absolutely fine, but there is not a single one that I think I'm going to get stuck in my head for weeks upon end. In fact, they're actually not too memorable. Like, I don't really see myself, humming these songs whenever I'm in the shower or something. I think the best song out of all of them is probably the one that Dwayne Johnson sings, or Maui sings. And no, it is nowhere near as good or meme-worthy as You're Welcome. None of the songs, I think all the songs from the first movie are better and far more memorable. I mean, they are bad. I mean, there is one song that Moana sings that is in the end credits, but that's in the movie, but also in the end credits. But I don't know. I just feel like the movie didn't really know a whole lot to do of making it different from the original, because, like I said before, there are a lot of callbacks to that original, and I feel like they pretty much call back everything that was in the original, pretty much. And for those, it might be an annoyance. But really, my major gripe with the entire thing is just the fact that it doesn't really do a whole lot different other than just adding in new characters, mostly just doing the same thing, except it doesn't really involve the world that much. I mean, hey, the goddess is saved. They put the heart back in. So yeah, it's nothing like that. It's there's also this other character who I thought was going to be the villain, but there really isn't that major villain. I feel like Disney either just doesn't want to put villains in their movies anymore, or they just want to make, or they want to make, the most generic movie villain possible in their animated films. I don't know, but despite the fact that I'm nitpicking a lot about this movie, I did not hate it. Like, it wasn't boring or anything like that. It's shorter than the first movie, but I feel like I had a lot more fun watching the first one. But, the animation, it's still stellar. Like, it has some of the most impressive water effects I have ever seen in animation. Like, I feel like when it comes to animation, the water, when it comes to their movies, it's just, it is, it amazes me how they make it look as realistic as possible. But, yeah, despite the fact it's nice seeing these characters back and a new addition of new ones, Moana has a little sister, which I guess is there just so there can be some cute moments, but because we don't see her sister that much. They try to show Moana and her sister's relationship as much as possible, but throughout the movie, Moana's going on throughout her journey. But yeah, in the end, guys, Moana 2 is a sequel that I feel like is just being made because Disney definitely has been struggling, despite the fact that Inside Out 2 was a major hit. I just feel like, there was more that Inside Out 2 had to offer to separate apart from the original. But right here, I feel like it's just another adventure, but it doesn't really feel like it's as epic as in the first film. It does have its emotional scenes. There are scenes of action that were quite entertaining. And some of the new characters, they're fine. New songs, also fine, but not nearly as memorable. So, for a fun family adventure, it's definitely worthwhile. But if you're an adult just seeking out a movie to see for Thanksgiving, this is probably not going to be it. I feel like it's probably best to just rewatch the original at home. But hey, it's not a bad movie by any means necessary, but this movie is not nearly as shiny as its predecessor. I have been mostly negative, but like I said before, there wasn't a time where I was just ready to check out. I mean, families can have fun with it, but I feel like that's my big problem. It's just focused on families, not really to the entire audience, just like the first movie did. I'm just thankful that Inside Out 2 was good. So, hey, at least Disney did have a win this year. I'm sure Moana will make some sort of money, hopefully a profit, but it just has me worried about what they're going to do more of. I mean, I know they're doing Frozen 3 and Toy Story 5, but I don't know. But hey, they tried to see what they could do here, and well, whatever. That's the review for you. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving, and I will see you guys later. Word out.